Do you need a 1,200 pound work cart? No, it doesn't weigh 1,200 pounds. It will carry 1,200 pounds and it's made in the USA. This is the VYPER Cart X32 series, and it's a work cart that's a beast. In other words, it will carry over 1,200 pounds and it's made in the USA. High quality craftsmanship. If you're not aware of the VYPER name, we've actually reviewed a couple of their products, one specifically that I'm sitting on, and it's the VYPER chair. Many will look at it and say it's overkill, but it's made in the USA, it's fabricated in the USA, it's engineered in the USA, so everything you've asked for, it is. Are you going to pay the premium to purchase it, whether you're buying the chair or whether you're buying the cart? Let's check it out and see. Now, I won't make you suffer through the whole build in this, but I thought we would just kind of see the boxing of this and then get everything out, and we'll get it all together, and we'll discuss things kind of as importance or as level of importance, or whatever that is. Wow, large casters right out of the gate. So again, if I didn't reiterate this enough, this is made in the USA, and VYPER Industrial, they build a lot of things. They're a fabrication house basically, and so they engineer this stuff and they fabricate it, and right here in the USA. So not a lot of stuff that's coming out of there that's from other parts of the country. Maybe these wheels, I don't know. We could probably check and see. But anyway, as far as the cart goes, made right here in the US. Look at there. Even get a sticker. Love it. I'll try to speed things up wherever I can so you don't hear me running my mouth through this whole build. Another sticker, can't argue with those. Okay, one small complaint. Can you get me some styrofoam that doesn't come apart? I mean, come on. That was a joke, by the way, but kind of not really. I don't need snow in my shop that's in Florida, and it's 90 degrees. These are obviously the trays for the cart, and they don't weigh a little, if you know what I mean. They're pretty heavy. Shall we indulge in the instructions? I know those guys. Looks like we get nice, pretty pictures, and colored pictures at that, to tell us how to put this thing together. Do we really need that? Yeah, maybe. Let's get started. Look at that. All the hardware separated into individual baggies. Okay, I'm deducting 1/10 of a point just for all this mess I have to clean up, just because it's snowing up north from time to time. Doesn't mean I have to put up with it here in Florida. So I've got all this styrofoam all over the place. Look at that mess. Isn't that the proper way to clean up? You just blow it in other places where you can clean it up from there. Much better. Okay, so we start with these I guess corners, and the corner stands or corner stanchions. And by the way, it said make sure you put the bottle opener at the top. They're serious about their bottle openers. There's one on every single one of these corners. One here, one here, one here, and here. So all four corners will have a bottle opener. So, you know, I guess they didn't know that Coca-Colas now have twist tops, but if you have one of those old Cokes, I guess you need a bottle opener to open it. Anyway, those are going to go at the top. Let's get started. And they say just put 3 of these on at the start. Also, the VYPER logo is the bottom tray. So we know that this goes on the bottom. That's going to start our base. And by the way, these square washers here, they're going to go on the inside, not on the bolt side. They're going to go on the nut side. So going to go through there. Actually, it shows it just in the start, putting these on the end. And these are 13 millimeter, by the way. I'll snug them up a little bit. Don't want them too tight. Now that we have 3 of the legs or the stanchions on. They're really not legs. Then we want to turn this up on its side, make it easier to put the pans in here, and then you don't have to hold it up. And by the way, the middle and top pans look like they are the same. And the middle one is basically, you configure it with the tray side up or the walls up. But the top, you can configure it one of 2 ways to actually make it flat across the top or dished. But let's get the middle one in. And we got the middle one mostly in, so let's go ahead and take care of the top. As I was mentioning, we can put the top to where we have a tray in the top, where we have this ledge, or if you want to keep it a flat top, where it's literally flat and flush all the way across the top, you can put this side up. We're going to do it where it basically is a third tray for us, so things don't fall out of the way. All right, so now that you've got those nuts and bolts already snug on 3 of those legs or stanchions or whatever we're going to call these corners, we can go ahead and put our 4th corner on and go ahead and get them all in. However, we don't put all of them in on one end. We want to leave those out on one little narrow end where you're going to actually put a handle at the top. You'll leave those 2 out on each corner or on the face of those 2 corners. Okay, now that we've got all 4 of the corners on, we're going to stand this thing upside down. So stand it on the top. And you should have enough nuts and bolts in there to keep it somewhat sturdy, at least keep it from falling apart. And now we can go around and make sure we have all the nuts and bolts in all the corners again, except on the end where you're going to run the handle on. So obviously we're not putting the handle here, but on the opposite side, actually this would be the bottom because we just flipped it upside down. So on the top, which is down there, we want to make sure we leave these 4 nuts and bolts out on the face of that end. That's where our handle is going to go. All right, now we're going to put this bottom side towards us here. Let's get these wheels on. Now there are 2 swivel locking casters and there's also 2 stationary casters. You'll probably want the stationary casters on the opposite side of the handle. So you'll want to steer where the handle is. So wherever you're going to put the handle, that's where you'll want your steering casters. And by the way, you could probably actually mount these depending on how you want to run this laterally. Actually, the holes are only one way, but I guess you could re-drill 2 of them and run them the other way, but it makes the most sense to do it this way. And you're going to use these Allen fasteners here, and they're going to go the button side or the head side to the inside of the cart, make it nice and clean. No washers, just nuts on the back side. I would assume these are 9/16 or 14 millimeter, and the 14 does fit on there, so you can use your 9/16 or 14 millimeter wrench, not your 14 inch. And you may need to get an Allen head to hold those, but I just want to snug these up here. And rinse and repeat for the other stationary. And then on the opposite side where we're going to put our handle, again, this is where we're going to mount our locking and swivel casters. Same nuts and bolts. And finally, the last swivel caster. Now this is when you know you're serious about a handle. So we have this tube handle right here. Looks like it's coated. Looks like maybe some sort of vinyl. It's not powder coating. Anyway, and these are the brackets to go on here. Obviously the brackets go right there. That's pretty self-explanatory. These big guys, I was wondering what in the world they were. Well, what they are is they slide into here and you kind of bang them in there, and then you put the threaded side toward the inside, and then I think you probably get it now. As you tighten that up, it's going to squish inside that tube and make sure that it grabs onto that handle. That's some pretty serious hardware for just the handle of a tool cart, but I like it. They say to go ahead and mount it on the handle, but don't tighten it. Barely get it on there. By the way, these don't require washers. These are a little bit longer, and you've got more thickness here, so you don't need the washer to offset that. Now we're going to go ahead and shove this on there as far as we can get it, and do the same here. There we go. Let's get that started in there. Now, make sure they get flush. And now that you know these are snug up against the handle, you can tighten these down. And by the way, you don't have to get too crazy, because you'll probably actually squeeze out the tube right here and make it distort a little bit. Once you get it good and snug, you should be fine. Now, a couple of things here. We're up right now. Everything is somewhat snug. We hadn't really bared down on everything, so we'll go through and tighten everything, but everything is solid. You can see we have everything right because our VYPER logo is down here on the bottom. I did want to mention that it does come with one really thick rubber mat here. I'm assuming you can put that anywhere, whether you want to put it on the top, the middle, the bottom, whether you want to invert the top and put it just kind of flush on the top, you can do that. It's got kind of some, not sticky to it, but it's got some grip to it so things won't just fall off. I'm just going to set it down here in the bottom for right now. And it looks like it covers edge to edge. Changed my mind. I'm going to put it in the middle. And we have one more thing. Actually, we have several more things, but what's included in the box is this right here. And really, you have a lot of, lateral decisions on where you want to put that. But you can see you've got basically metal pegboard that's integrated into your tool cart, and you can place that wherever you want to, near the top, in the middle, at the bottom. Make it your own. Everything fits nice and tidy. Well, let's get a few dimensions here. These casters, I believe, are 6-inch. Yeah, 6-inch casters that have almost like a tire on it. They're not pneumatic, but they're a really grippy rubber tire, so it's going to make it easy to roll over things. So 6 inches all the way around. Again, 2 of them are locking swivel casters. The swivel does not lock. When you lock it down, it does lock the wheel, but it still swivels. So some casters are locking swivel and locking rolling. They're not, there's locking rolling, just to let you know. Now, as far as dimensions here, length on this is a little over 32. So you're going to get 32 internal to put things in here. So about 32 and a half overall. And on the height of the cart itself is 30 inches. And then to the ground, it's going to be 37 inches. So you're getting the 30 inches plus the caster plus the space between the casters gives us 37. And width on this, or depth, however you want to calculate that, is 20 inches. So 20 by 32. And then again, the cart itself, 30 high and 37 overall. Everything is powder coated, very durable coating. We've been dragging this thing all around our worktop here that's stainless steel with welding slag kind of melted into all of it, and still really haven't noticed any bad scratches. I haven't taken the time that I probably should have. Now let's talk about some accessories. So basically the cart comes with the cart and this accessory here. Kind of get you started. Now here's a few other accessories. So here's a larger panel here. That's going to go on the end. If I can line those up, there we go. Falls right into place. And by the way, when I was putting this together, used no lineup tools at all. Yes, I had to bang it with my hand every now and then, but literally very lightly, and never had to use a lineup tool or a screwdriver or anything like that to line up the holes. So that tells me their engineering and their CNC machine is dead on, or at least thereabouts. Here's another cool accessory here. And by the way, all these accessories, I believe, are between like $15 and like $40. There may be one that's $50. So this is either a mini dog dish or it's holding your drinks, but what will probably happen, I bet you fasteners will probably fall into there. And that's going to go anywhere on one of these panels as well, the slim panel, the big panel. Then you have some tool holders, like a screwdriver holder here with the VYPER logo in the back side there. Pliers holders. Just a genuine hook. hang your air hose or your extension cord or whatever it is you need. And by the way, you see again how snug these are fitting in there. Another style hook. Looks like an aerosol can holder. Smaller screwdriver or some type of holder that you want to put in there. And then for that larger side, we didn't forget about you. So now we got one that spans all the way across the long end as well. So you can put as many of these that will fit on here. Nice stainless paper towel holder. Oh, that won't go with the paper towel holder. That's okay though. Ah, this actually doesn't fit on here. Let me show you where it fits. So we know this will fit right here. In fact, let's put this up here. And you'll notice this does not fit on this plate here. So what happened? Did they mess up? Well, let's get our paper towel holder on. And no, they didn't mess up because it fits actually directly on to the cart. So your aerosol cans mounted right there to the cart. No need to have a plate on there. You can get this by itself. So here's our VYPER cart with all the accessories on it. Just a really, really well-built cart, just like their chairs that we've known to love. And great accessories here. I'm sure they'll keep churning things out as people want them and need them and request them. They really go to all measures beside the styrofoam to make this really top-notch. And by the way, you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay the premium for a cart like this, but at the same time, you're getting made in the USA, all the fabrication done here. And as I was mentioning, that we didn't have to use any lineup tools and everything is just made spot on, right to spec. The only thing is, I did receive a bolt, a fastener with no threads on it. Just one, but I did receive one. I was fiddling and fiddling, trying to put a nut on that and finally figured out what was going on. Not going to hold them accountable for that. I am on the styrofoam though. I am still going to hold you accountable for the styrofoam. Anyway, just kidding. Great cart. $795, I believe lifetime warranty on this. And check it out. We'll have a link in the description. Also, keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button. Have a great day. Keep smiling.